I want to build a small retail area for my disc golf store, so join me as we do that today in the life of a small business owner. Let's go. The disc golf business isn't super high income and I'm in one of the most expensive cities in the country, so I've had to make do with shared space where I'm subleasing off of another business. That limits me in terms of what I'm able to do with the space. I'd rather not screw things into the wall. As well, I've had to move some of their stuff into storage. You should have seen this place a couple weeks ago. Really, I should have started this video a few weeks ago because I've already made leaps and bounds in terms of cleaning things up, wiping down walls, organizing other boxes, making it look a little bit nicer. But we're not there yet. As a temporary measure, I've put in some of these little IKEA Veskin shelves, which are surprisingly good at holding discs, and they're only $15 Canadian each. Roughly 15 to 20 discs a shelf. Really, it's quite good value, but since they're made out of plastic, they're a little bit wobbly and they don't look super professional. Hopefully this is only a short-term thing. One of the best parts about my office, it has air conditioning. It's hot up here right now. I would be dying if I didn't have this. I want to go with these grid wall display holders, which I've seen in other disc golf shops, because they keep each individual disc separate, which makes it easier for customers to rifle through discs. And then also the discs don't tip over. Thing is though, as I said earlier, I'm in shared space, so I really don't want to screw things into the wall. And to mount slat wall, you usually have to screw it in. But I might have found another solution for that. I've seen people using these freestanding grid wall displays at conventions to hold their wares, and these ones say they support 60 pounds, so that should work. Realistically, I'll have roughly 30 pounds of golf discs on each shelf. I've got orders to ship, discs to unpack and photograph, and, just general business stuff, so I'll get back to you in a couple days when those shelves arrive. This is $800 worth of boxes, and all of them need to find their way upstairs and into storage with my other boxes. At least I have a good amount of space to store things up here in the back. Well, we'll see if we can fit them all. We got there eventually. It always looks so precarious when I've refilled all of the boxes. It's a day later, one of those freestanding grids arrived and I built it off camera because I am such a great content creator. Anyways, check this thing out. There is no way in heck that's holding 60 pounds. Like, look at the gauge of this wire. It is so thin that the slightest pressure makes it bend. We'll have to see how it holds up when I get the actual disc golf disc mounts, but I don't think this thing is going to do what we hope it would. Well, there you have it. 60 pounds was for the set, not for each grid. Let me know if you would have interpreted that advertisement as each of these shelves holding 60 pounds, or if I'm the one being unreasonable. One of the challenges of running an in-store inventory is now sometimes things that are ordered online will be in the store and discs get mixed up. So we're going to have to figure out some way to organize and denote that things are in store versus online, which is in the back. Back here, everything is a lot more organized, and previously when customers were coming in, I just let them come back here and look through the boxes to find what they need, but I want to have better presentation out front. I suspect we're going to have to go some other way though, and I've been looking at the MVP disc station shelves. Those things look pretty good, so I might order one or two, bring them into the shop, and see if that would work a little bit better. I wasn't originally going to go with the disc station though, because similar to these boxes, once customers start rifling through the discs, they tend to kind of flop over, unless you buy the very expensive disc station dividers, which is something I don't want to do. It might mean buying a 3D printer and printing some myself though, because that would definitely be a cheaper way to do that. Though maybe there'll be a 3D printer in this video too, wouldn't that be something? And once again, my best friend Scope Creep has joined the party. These things never really work out how I intend, but I try and stay optimistic and think that in the end they'll work out better than I intended. It's a new day. What's on the agenda for today? Well, I just got back from Innova, Canada, where I picked up a wholesale order, as well as some shelves. They're currently under renovation, so it's quite loud there. But but I did get a couple good ideas on how to display discs in my store, even if I do have a lot more limited space, so I won't be able to use them all. Well, now it's a 45-minute drive back to the shop, and I gotta ship customer discs, unpack these discs, start setting up shelves. There's just so much to do. Look, now it's my boxes in the corner instead of my landlord's. Now that all of this is upstairs, one of the first problems I want to solve today is this hallway light. It is way too dark. It's honestly a little bit unnerving walking up the stairs, especially when it's a rainy day. The bulb I have in there is already one of the brightest for this socket that I can buy. It's a 100-watt equivalent LED, 1600 lumens, somewhere in there. But then I found this monstrosity at the dollar store of all places. Check this thing out. This light claims to do 3,500 lumens with 27 watts of power. Actually, before I pull out the big ladder to install it, I need to do a little sanity check and see if it's actually 27 watts. So I've installed it into this lamp here, and I have a watt meter. Let's turn it on and see how bright this thing actually is. Okay, that is pretty bright. But is it using 27 watts? 16. Yeah, okay, that's not 27. 16 is not 27. But that should be brighter than any bulb that's in there already. That's honestly pretty close to a 100-watt equivalent LED light bulb. But I think this one will be a little bit better because these things stick out of the socket, so it'll direct the light more into the hallway rather than straight down on the landing. All right, I've set the camera to manual exposure to try and get a decent before and after shot. No wonder why that's much brighter. The bulb that was in there was an 8-watt bulb, which is kind of crazy given how big that space is. Look at this. Half of my stickers printed normally, and then half of them printed offset. I have like 50 stickers that printed like this, which is kind of annoying. I don't really know why the printer does that sometimes. I don't know. I called this red, but it is kind of pinky in person. Maybe I should change it online so it says pinky red. I've never seen a disc with this kind of texture before. They're almost like polishing lines, like maybe the disc goes through a machine to make it shiny and polished, and this time it was set a little bit too aggressive. Some Doomsday discs just have the worst colors. Like, why would you make a disc golf disc like this? Of course it's going to get lost when it's brown. Speaking of other weird things that Doomsday disc does, look at this guy. I don't think I've ever felt anything like it before. It might be a little difficult to see just how much this thing flexes even without discs on it, but it flexes so much that the mount will just fall out. So I guess it's back to the drawing board. Slat wall has been acquired. Now it's just a matter of getting it up those stairs. And now it is upstairs. Today's job is going to be getting it from there onto there. I tried to pull out these metal rails, but I can't seem to do that without ungluing the sides. So I think I'm going to try and drill through the rails to mount them to the wall up there. All the slat wall has these metal tabs that I don't need. I don't know. I'm gonna have to remove it from every single piece. But once it's done, it's gonna look pretty good. Using power tools one-handed is very smart. Punch, 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 punch. Drill, 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 drill. Vacuum. Do it 60 more times. So here's a dramatic reenactment of what just happened. Or should I say happened earlier today. Hey buddy, you know that you're mounting slat wall today, so don't forget that box of screws and drywall anchors that's right by your car keys. Box of drywall anchors and screws? I don't need that today. So I've mounted what I can. I think I can do one more using the random nonsense I found around the office. So far it's looking pretty good though. I do need to wipe it down because it's a little bit grody from the random Facebook Marketplace warehouse. We have found my Lord and Savior, the Robertson screw, which is about ½ an inch longer than the other screws I was using. This one will actually go through and into the stud instead of just trying to hang out in the drywall. Oh, thank goodness. This is genuinely the hardest part of anything I have to do today because I don't want to ask for help. I don't want to bug the people downstairs. I really should ask for help. Also, drilling into my landlord's walls kind of terrifies me because if I mess this up, then I'm going to have to patch drywall. Well, I'm going to have to patch drywall anyways when I move eventually, once the business outgrows this space, but I'd have to patch more drywall right now. That's exactly what I don't want to do with my life. Pray that we don't hit power. Pray that we don't hit water. And folks, this is why you should always ask for help, because it is slightly off. This one isn't going anywhere now, thankfully. And I was able to fix the alignment between the slots, at least, even if the tops aren't properly aligned. Because I had to find longer screws to go into the stud, I have enough screws and drywall anchors for another panel tonight. Heck yeah. Christmas colors. Come on. This time we were using all Robertson, but some of them are gold. All right, gold ones on the bottom, because they will stand out less. Well, if I can somehow scrounge up the materials for 2 more, I'll be done despite forgetting my box of screws. I have found 4 blues and 4 robins. My workspace is getting tighter, and you might say, why don't you just move all of this stuff? It's on wheels. Well, what I have to say is that, why don't you move it? You come here and move it. That would be very helpful, actually. Life pro tip for home improvement, don't do this. I've got 2 more Life Pro tips for you from this experience. First of all, Robertson screws are fantastic. They don't cam out like Phillips screws do, so use those if you can. Second one, don't film your home improvement projects. This made it take like 3 times longer than it actually needed to. Anyways, I needed to stop here for a couple reasons. First of all, it's about an hour from close and I still have a couple of customer orders to pack. Getting those out and shipped is super important, more important than my nonsense putting up these walls. Second of all, it's Friday and I want to go home, so yeah, it's gonna go play disc golf tomorrow, surprise.